Hello, my name is Sandy and I'm your sewing guru. In this class we are going to learn how to make pants patterns, the basic ones, so you can transform them later into any other pant design or salwar you want. You are going to need the regular materials and tools for making your patterns, like paper, your L-shaped roller, your curved rollers. Also, if you don't have these rollers, I'm going to give you a link in the description box so you can make your own. So let's start making our pant patterns. Let's make our front pattern first. We are going to start, as many of our other patterns, with a 90 degrees angle in the left side of my paper. So take your L-shaped roller and transfer the shape of it to your paper like this. In the case of the vertical side of the roller, I am going to extend this line long enough to cover the length of your pant. The length of the pant pattern will be the measurement from your waist to your ankle. So mark it here in the vertical from the top corner. We are going these patterns from waist because they are basic patterns. Later you can change the waistline in the transformation of the pattern. So mark the length here. And here in the horizontal, we are going to mark 1/4 part of your hips contour. You can add here up to maximum 5 millimeters for ease if you want. But if you mark 1/4 part of the hips contour, it will be okay. I'm going to mark the same measurement here and here. And using those points to make a perfect vertical line, I'm going to trace it. And in that line, mark again the length of your pant. So we will have this rectangle join these 2 points in the base of the pattern. And now we have to mark the crotch length. For that, there are several ways to measure that part of your body. The first way of measuring it is by sitting. You have to measure from your waist to the base you are sitting on. And try to measure it with the L-shaped roller, or as I am showing you here in this diagram. But be sure to get a really straight measurement from the base you are sitting on and your waistline. You can tie a ribbon on your waist to get that measurement perfect. So you can measure from the ribbon on your waist to the base you are sitting on. The second way to measure the crotch length is taking the measurement of your side of your leg from the waist to your ankle on the side of your body, and then take the inner length of your leg, as I am showing you here in this diagram. It will be from the crotch point to the ankle. The difference between these two measurements, it will be the crotch length. Or if you want a really quick tip to get the crotch length for your patterns, do the following. Find a pant that fits you perfect. We all have that pant. An important thing is this pant has to be high waist pant, or the waistline of this pant, it has to be on your actual waist, not on the hips line or like a low waist pant. No, it has to be an actual waistband. Find this seam here. Is the seam that cross the crotch, not here. This no. You have to find the seam, and from that seam and this side of the pant, you have to put the L-shaped roller in this, matching the seam I told you, and the side of the pant, and then you have to measure the side of the pant. That would be the crotch length we need for your pattern. So remember the tips. I am leaving it for you here on the screen. And now mark that measurement, whatever is the way you took it, be sure it's accurate, and mark it here in both sides of the pattern. And trace this line. Extend the line out of the rectangle like this, And here we are going to mark the crotch extension. For that, divide the contour of your hips by 16 and the result, mark it there in the crotch extension. And now here in the side of the pattern, mark 20 centimeters for standard measurements, or if you want to be more accurate for customized patterns, mark the 12th part of your hips contour. Divide your hips contour by 12 and mark it there, and trace this reference line here. Now here, this is the crotch point and this is the side point. Take this measurement and divide it by 2 and mark the half point. This measurement here, I am going to take it and mark it over here because I need to trace a vertical line, so these reference points will help me. So trace a vertical line in this way from the top horizontal to the bottom horizontal. This is the central line of your pant pattern. Now I am going to divide my waist contour by 4, and to the result I'm going to add 2 centimeters for the dart. Check what variation is telling you here on your screen. And here we are going down by 1.5 centimeters, and I am going to trace a waistline in this way, slightly curved. And now I'm going to join this point here with this, with a straight line. And about the half of that line, I'm going to mark out 5 millimeters, half centimeter, and trace this curve here with your curved rollers. Like this. This is the side of your pant. Now here I am going to trace a bisector line of this angle in this way. And in that bisector line, I'm going to divide my hips contour by 32 and mark it here. And trace your crotch curve like this. This I'm going to remark it in blue because it will be the contour of my pattern. And now take this measurement from this point to this point and mark the half point of it, and then go up by 5 centimeters. There it will be the knee line of your pant. So this measurement, mark it here and here and trace this line. Now for the knee width, we are going to take this measurement, which is the same of 1/4 part of your hips contour, and half of that measurement, reducing 1 centimeter, I am going to mark it to every side of the central line on my knee line. And trace this line from the crotch point to the knee point in both sides. Well, in the side is from the hips point to the knee point. Now, for the base of your pant, you need to mark 1/4 part of your ankle contour, and you are going to add 2.5 centimeters. Mark that measurement to every side of the central line, and then trace these lines, join those points with the knee points. I am tracing it in blue because it will be the final contour of my pattern. And now this line, mark the half of it, and there mark inside half centimeter, 5 millimeters, and trace a curve using these 3 points. Find the place of your roller and trace the curve like this. Now here we are going to trace the dart. The vertical line, it will be the side of my dart. So from there I'm going to mark 2 centimeters and the half of it, like mark 1 centimeter in the center. And squaring the line from the top horizontal, you are going to trace your dart in this way. The length of the dart is 12 centimeters. Now from that point, join with the top points of your dart and trace it in this way. Now cut your pattern following the lines I traced in blue. In the top part, leave extra paper because you need to fold the dart first. Fold it well. And keep it folded. Hold it there and cut following the waistline. And your front pattern is ready. Now for the back pattern of your pant, you need to transfer the shape of your front pattern to another piece of paper, or you can trace two front patterns, but you need another front pattern on the paper to make modifications on it, and in that way get your back pattern. The modifications are the following. In the baseline, I am going to add 1 centimeter to every side. This is to transfer the seams of our pant once we sew it. Also in the knee line, I am going to add 1 centimeter to every side. Just extend the lines a little bit. And here I'm going to extend 1.5 centimeters. And here in this reference line, I'm going to extend it by 2 centimeters. Here I'm going to extend the crotch line. Take this measurement and add it here, the measurement of the crotch extension of the front. And now transfer this line here to your pattern. Just square a line in this way. Take the measurement of this segment and from the corner downwards on the line, mark half of the segment and reduce 1.5 centimeters. And now I am going to trace the horizontal reference line of my pattern in this way. Here, if you remember in the front pattern, we give this measurement. And I'm going to transfer the point I just marked to that horizontal, and from that point I'm going to mark on this horizontal, extending it 1/4 part of the waist contour, and I'm going to add 3.5 centimeters. 3 is for dart and half centimeter to adjust the seam on the side of my pant. So in total I have this. And now mark this point, this one here, and this one here. You are going to use your L-shaped roller and the vertical of it, put it in the way it touches these points. The vertical has to touch these 2 points here, the point I marked in the crotch. Just find the position of your L-shaped roller where it touches the 3 points and mark the shape of it in this way. You have to touch the 3 points I just told you, like this. And from here, with a slight curve, trace the side of your pant. Like this. And here with the straight lines, Mark the contour of your back pattern here and here, also here, and here. We have to reduce a bit of the length of the crotch. So set your measuring tape in this point of your knee and here, touching these 2 points, and then rotate it until the level of the crotch point like this. And mark that reduction here. It's about 1 centimeter, but you do it in this way to make it perfect. Here I'm going to reduce ½ centimeter. And using these 3 points, I am going to trace the curve of my back crotch in this way. Now from this point, join with the top point on the waist like this, and just smooth this point here with the curve. Now trace a straight line here. In the half of it, mark ½ centimeter in. You do it with the measuring tape and trace a curve like this to the inner line of your pant. Now here, take this measurement of the waistline, mark the half of it, and here square a line to make the dart, 10 centimeters, and mark 1.5 centimeters, 1.5 centimeters to every side, and join those points with the bottom point of your dart and trace it. Now you can cut your pattern following the red lines I marked. And here, remember, you need to fold the dart, keep it fold, and cut like that. And there you have your pant patterns ready. Now stay with us because we are going to explain you what to do if you need some adjustments to your patterns. Now let's see some modifications and adjustments we can make to our patterns to make them fit the different types of bodies, and also to correct some defects we can encounter once we sew our pants. Here I have a rough and ugly sketch of what will be the front pattern and the back pattern for my pants. And first let's see what we can change in the front pattern to get a better fitting. If you find that sometimes your pants, once you sew it, you get wrinkles here in this part or in this part, is because the crotch is too short and also is too straight. We have a different type of body maybe, and we need to correct this. The only type of body in the front for a pant we can find is, for example, this will be a standard belly. And if you see this seam line here, is obviously the seam line which is going from here to here, right? The seam you see at the front of your pant where the zipper is, so sometimes in case the pant has a zipper in the front, so it's a front seam, is this line in the front pattern. So this line is for a standard body and it will fits a standard body correctly. But what if we have a fat belly, for example? When we have a fat belly, this line, if I measure this line in a standard body and this line in a body with fat on the belly, obviously this line, it will be longer than this one. This measurement will be longer or bigger than this measurement. So what we need to do is increase the length of this, but also the inclination of this line from here, from the vertical to here, is more. Here we have less. What you need to do is increase the length here of your crotch line. You need to increase this length. How much? 1 centimeter or 1.5 centimeters, as much. That will be enough. Now, with that, we cover the length. You need to take it out 1 centimeter too. So you are going to measure 1 centimeter from here to here, or 1.5. And then, following the same shape of the crotch here, you need to trace it like this. So first increase 1 centimeter outside of the pattern, and then also going upwards at 1 centimeter or 1.5, the same amount you add out of the pattern, the same you have to increase upwards. So 1 centimeter and 1 centimeter or 1.5, and from there you trace your waistline like this. So this will be the new contour of your pattern, in case you have a fat belly, or in case you are having this defect of the pant having wrinkles in the front. Now, I add 1 centimeter here, and this pattern is the fourth part of the full pattern of the full pant. So if I add 1 centimeter here, once I cut my patterns, I'm going to need 2 pieces of the front, right? So if I add 1 centimeter here, in real, I am adding 2 centimeters to the total length of the width of the front. So it will be 2 centimeters of ease, or 2 centimeters of losing that probably you don't want, because these are basic patterns. If you want wide patterns, then you make the transformation after you get the basic pattern correctly. So since this is a basic pattern, we needed to fit perfectly to our body. So the ease is already calculated in the pattern when you trace it. These modifications, you need to make them after you make your patterns with the standard procedure as I showed you in this video. So if I add 1 centimeter here, I need to take it from here 1 centimeter. I'm going to the dart, move it 1 centimeter, in this case to the right, because do you remember the dart? It has a specific position on the pattern. So if you take this line out of the pattern, then by 1 centimeter, then you need to move the dart also 1 centimeter. And this will be the pattern of a pant for if you have a fat belly, or if you are getting wrinkles. Even if you don't have a fat belly, but if you are getting wrinkles here, these will be the corrections. Now, for the back pattern, what corrections we could have? The first one is when we have big butt, right? The same applies. Like if you have a big butt, this this seam is the seam that is going on the back of your body, obviously, because this is the back pattern. So this seam is this line, and if you measure this line, it will be shorter than if you measure this line, right? Shorter, and also, as I said before, the inclination of that line, it will be bigger for this one than for this one. Probably if you have a big butt, and if you are wearing pants made with the standard measurements, you are going to feel like the pant is pulling down in your butt or in the crotch, in the back part. So to correct that mistake, or if you have a big butt, what you need to do is also 1 centimeter or 1.5 centimeters as much. You need to mark it inside of the pattern. In this case, it's opposite than in the front. In this case, for a big butt, we need to reduce the pattern inside, not reduce it, but mark 1 centimeter from this corner to the left. So mark it here, and following the same shape of the crotch, trace a new line like this. Now this will be like for the distance from here to here, right? From here to here. But as we said, this line will be longer than this one, so we need to also add the same you add here, or the same you went in of the pattern here. You need to mark it upward. So if I mark here 1 centimeter, 1 centimeter higher, and then join with the waistline like this. So crotch line for a big butt, it will be like higher and also like more slanted than a regular one. If you have a flat butt, then you need to do the opposite. You need to reduce 1 centimeter from here, and you need to mark outside of the pattern also 1 centimeter downwards and 1 centimeter outside of the pattern. There, trace a new crotch following the same shape, and also join with the waist point here. And the same thing for the dart and for the width. In case you are making your pattern modification for a big butt, then from here we reduce 1 centimeter. So if you leave it like that, your pant will be 2 centimeters smaller in the back part, so it will not fit you. So this centimeter you went inside of the pattern here, you need to add it in the other side here, and also you have to join at like here in the same level than the crotch, like this. And if you made a modification for the flat butt, since you came 1 centimeter out of the pattern, you need to reduce it from here, or it will be big for you. And the dart the same. If you came out of the pattern 1 centimeter, move your dart 1 centimeter to the right. And in the opposite case, in this case, since you came 1 centimeter to the left, also, then move your dart 1 centimeter to the left. And that is not only make your pattern fits you better in this case of these different types of bodies, but also will correct some defects of the pant. In the case of the red lines for a flat butt, when we have a flat butt and we wear standard pants made with the standard patterns, we get wrinkles like here, like this, like U-shape wrinkles here. It's because this line is too long for a flat butt. So if you're reducing the crotch, these wrinkles disappear. And the last thing I want to explain you about pants patterns and fitting is the shape of your patterns. Some of my students get worried or are concerned when they trace their patterns with their own measurements, and they get different shapes of the pattern. For example, some students were getting something like a pattern, something like this, with this curve here and this extra space here. When that happened, or some Some students were getting extra here also, and a shape like this, for example. Don't be afraid to get different shapes on your patterns. Remember, these patterns are made with your own measurements. These are custom patterns. Um, your patterns get different shapes because your body has a unique shape. So in case, for example, we have a fat belly, of course you are going to have a wider pattern at this point, and that is okay, because even if it doesn't look like a standard pattern, but it's a pattern that will fit your body. So don't worry if you get different shapes in your customized patterns, because that is what a customized pattern does. Fits your body and fits the shape of your body wherever it is. And that's it. If you need to know something else about basic pants patterns, let me know in a comment in this video. Thank you so much for watching. Happy stitches for everyone.